And we are live. Welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. This is our Tuesday live stream. I am your host, Connor from Crypto Empire. Welcome everybody to the stream. We have a lot to discuss today as Bitcoin and Ethereum and most altcoins continue to trade in their range from last Thursday's sell-off. The big question now, what's it going to be, up or down? Are we going to test lower levels? Are we going to retest 25K? I'll be going over my technical analysis during this stream, as well as a lot more to talk about, because Jerome Powell spoke this morning and he had a very hawkish tone when it comes to interest rates. So we're going to find out, is the Fed going to keep on raising these rates? Are they going to raise them higher than we originally anticipated in March? And what is this going to mean for the crypto markets overall? I'll be giving my thoughts on that in this stream, so be sure to stick with me until the very end, on top of all of the altcoin charting. But as usual, let's start things off with our crypto market overview and get right into it. So also, big shout out to Elvis, big shout out to Jason for being here nice and early. We also got Andrea saying, hey Connor, we're screwed, my man. Why do you say that, Andrea? I'm curious. Amsterdam saying, greetings Connor, 100K, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it, Amsterdam. Good to see you. We got Satoshi Flacco saying, yo, Connor, what's going on? I can't wait to hear what you have to say today. We'll stick around, strap in, and let's get into it right now. We also got Richard saying, oi, oi, lot to discuss indeed, and all day Dre with us in the building. So looking at the crypto market right now, it's been dead quiet since last Thursday night's drop, when Bitcoin went ahead and dropped around 7% in about 20 minutes. From then, it has been dead and the market is dry. There's barely any movement, but that should change sooner rather than later. But Bitcoin right now is trading for $22,097, and we have Ethereum trading for $1,550. These are both red on the day. A lot of people on social media, a lot of hype around XRP on social media today, I should say. XRP up a whopping 2.4% in a sea of red. So maybe some news coming out with the lawsuit. I know there's a lot of speculation around it, so a lot of people going crazy over a 2.4% pump, but to me, not enough evidence there to really say that they're going to go ahead and win the case. But as you see, it is a sea of red today. Let's take a look at the gainers and losers right now. And looking at these gainers, we got Access Protocol up 147% on the day. And then after that, as you see here with these altcoin rankings, a lot of low caps are up double digits, but you got to go down pretty far in the market cap list to see these. One big one, Origin Trail Track, big AI coin here, doing a lot, up 13%. But for the most part, everything is flat, with Bitcoin and Ethereum also flat. And looking at the losers on the day, a lot of losers. We got Velo. Talked about Velo in a live stream a few weeks ago. Velo is essentially the XRP of Asia, is what it is being coined as. I will do a deep dive on this project. As I'm sure you guys saw yesterday, I made a top 3 ISO 20022 crypto coin video, and Velo is somewhat related to that, as they're trying to essentially bring together traditional finance to crypto as a payment network, etc. But anyways, a lot of red today, a lot of flatness with the major coins like Bitcoin and ETH. So let's kind of get into the charts and go over some trading scenarios. We got Mr. Sellers Homes with us saying, Ayo, let's go. Looking forward to the stream. What's up, Mr. Sellers Homes? It is good to see you. And Andrea answering the question of why we are not looking too hot right now. Andrea is saying, Gensler and Powell, our enemies in 2023. Can we hire? Hey, I don't know if we can do that. We don't really, I don't wish that upon even my, yeah, I mean, come on, let's not talk crazy right now with, hits and stuff like that. Anyway, we got KDAX07 saying, yo, what's up from down under? What's up? Coming in from Australia, KDAX07. So we are going to look at Bitcoin here, and let's kind of start off on a cleaner chart on the higher time frames and then dig into the lower time frames. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Bitcoin on the daily time frame, looking at the Coinbase chart here. And as you see, we have been very much so range bound from our initial pump up at the start of the year over here in January. It's already March 7th. A week has already gone by in March. Time is not waiting for anybody. So with that being said, yeah, things are looking a little bit iffy right now, but the main thing to note is we have not lost bullish market structure yet. The reason I say that is, as you see here, just looking on this daily time frame chart, we got our low here, our consolidation. We made a high, then we pulled back. This was in mid-February, right? This was a higher low. We pumped up again and made a higher high, and now we're just kind of in no man's land in the middle of this overall trading range. So we're in a range and we're still holding bullish market structure on the higher time frames. There is a lot of fear, a lot of doom and gloom with the regulatory concerns, with the interest rate hikes. But if you actually just look at the TA here, bullish market structure is not broken. Can it break? Yes, it absolutely can. The main thing to look out for would be a break. If I draw a trend line like this, as you can see, it's already kind of starting to break today, but it's not official. The daily candle is not closed, but the first step would be a loss over here at 22K, and this would bring us down into our demand zone down here. All right, and I have that on this chart right here. As you see, we have our demand zone right here, and this is going to be at around $21,675 down to around $22,300. And this is an area of interest for me. I am waiting for price to come down here because I do think it would offer a bounce. I don't know if this would necessarily be the bottom of this kind of move that we're in the midst of right now from 25,200 up here, right? We've been doing nothing but down, consolidation down. I don't know if this is going to be the end of the downward selling in this demand level, but I am confident in the fact that it would offer a decent bounce, which is going to be a long opportunity. So as you see, I already have the trade kind of mapped out here. Just looking for a move towards the bottom of the demand zone, expecting a bounce to play out, and not looking for anything crazy back up to around 22,400 to 22,600. But that is in the future, right? Because 22K is still holding as of right now. So we went over the bullish market structure. Bullish market structure is still intact right now. However, there's a lot to talk about that can essentially change that. So if we drop this down to the lower time frame, as you see on the 4-hour price chart, the range low from that wick over here at $21,936, this has offered a bounce every single time that price has come back to test that range low. Also, I've had this trend line on my chart from before this drop. Actually, I was looking to see if it was going to break the trend line or not. But anyways, all I did was extend the trend line to the right, and as you see, the wick actually hit that trend line again perfectly. All right, and if you're wondering why the trend line looks like this, I used a channel on my chart, because remember, trend lines are not going to be exact price lines. They are areas of buying and selling. So using a channel like this for a trend line allows you to highlight the entire area that you are watching for your technical analysis to actually go ahead and take trades off of. All right, so it just gives you kind of a broader line, a thicker line, a zone, if you will, like a supply and demand zone, but diagonal. Anyways, perfect bounce off of that this morning actually, and then we sold off right back to it, and right now we are bouncing. If I drop this down to the 15-minute time frame, as you can see here, we did have this kind of bullish divergent structure playing out on the 15-minute chart. So from here, it is possible that this low is going to hold for now. It does look like this low does want to hold and just come back and retest the range high at around 22,400 or 22,600. Either way, watching this Bitcoin chart since last Thursday has literally been like watching paint dry. Nothing has been happening. So we went over the plan here. If we get this sweep down into our daily demand zone, that's the long trade idea. Let's go over the short trade idea, and then we're going to get into talking about interest rates and Powell and what's going on with that. So we went ahead and we had this big breakdown last Thursday. as you see. It's actually the Friday candle. But if you notice, we do have a daily order block here, and or supply zone, you can call it order block. Same kind of vocabulary. They're synonymous with one another. They mean the same thing. But over here on the 12-hour, as you can see, I went ahead and isolated with my red zone here a supply level. So we have a supply zone there, and we can also go ahead and put another one right here. All right, so we have a supply zone up here at around 23,300 bucks. So because we had such a sharp move down from this supply zone, this makes me very interested in this area. Supply and demand basics, when we have a really quick move and we have the structure of a drop-based drop, we know that there's leftover orders in this supply zone. So what does price want to do? It wants to go get those orders essentially. It wants to tag them, grab them, and then go ahead and continue in the trajectory of the trend. And right now the trend is short-term bearish. But on the higher time frames, like I said, it's actually bullish. But anyways, the short trade would be a move into this supply zone. All right, this is the origin of the breakdown. So I like that. Of course, we want to not just blindly short when price gets up here, because listen, it is very possible. It is very possible. Let me go ahead, and also our monthly open price is up here at 23,100. So really, I can go ahead and make this kind of bigger. This entire huge green candle, we can call this the area of liquidity, the order block, the supply zone, whatever. All right, we can go ahead and make this our one gigantic level of supply. And this would go ahead and encompass the monthly open and the January 2023 high. All of these are major resistance price levels. Whether that's the monthly open, the January high, all of these are going to be levels that I'm going to look for bearish structure to form on the very low time frames for confirmation for a short entry. All right, what does confirmation look like for me? Well, typically I like to see some kind of sweep, liquidity grab, etc. For example, over here, right, we had this level, right, price wouldn't break above this, went ahead and sold off, came back up and retested, and notice how these two wicks sweep the level and then it reversed. All right, so we look for that basically in the lower time frames, and that's going to be our short trade up there at 23,500. But as of right now, we are doing nothing. All right, we're range bound, really doing nothing. Quite boring. Like I said, the market's dry right now, and not much we can do about that, but wait until the market gives us volatility to actually go ahead and trade. Let me go ahead and catch up with our live chat here. We got Sanretsu saying, hello, Connor. Let's go, Crypto Empire. What's happening, Sanretsu? It's good to see you. Andre saying, Powell has set the tone for this month, so it's kind of over for the short term. Elvis, we will look at Solana in a little bit. What's happening, 0xETH? Good to see you. And we also got CRO8 with us today. So, yeah, anybody who is wondering what's happening with Powell, let's see, Sanretsu says, Warren did go into Powell about the people that will lose their jobs. He had nothing to say about it, too. It's just for the cause. Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy time. But what everybody is discussing, if you're not sure what we're talking about when it comes to Powell and interest rates, let's kind of briefly touch up on that right now. So this is an article from Reuters, and this is from today. So basically, Jerome Powell spoke this morning. By the way, next interest rate hike, next FOMC meeting is going to be on Wednesday, March 22nd. So we still have over 2 weeks until that. But this morning, March 7th, Powell went ahead and testified to the Senate committee. And he really didn't have anything great to say when it comes to the macroeconomic situation. He was very hawkish. All right, hawkish basically is macroeconomic talk for bearish, you can call it. Basically, he wants to raise rates more. So we can read, the Federal Reserve will likely need to raise interest rates more than expected in response to a recent strong data, and is prepared to move in larger steps if the totality of incoming information suggests tougher measures are needed to control inflation. That's what Powell told the U.S. lawmakers this morning. So not looking too great. Data's coming in stronger than expected, and they need to make sure that it gets weaker. How do they do that? They higher the interest rates. So we can see Powell said, if the totality of the data were to indicate that faster tightening is warranted, we would be prepared to increase the pace of rate hikes. That's not very good. All right, if they go ahead and raise rates on Wednesday, March 22nd, most likely that's not going to be too great for the S&P 500, for the stock market, or for Bitcoin and the overall crypto market. So that is what is on the table right now. We do have the CPI meeting, which is going to tell us the inflation numbers on March 14th. So 1 week from today, we'll have that information. If inflation is coming in lower, that's going to be good. Maybe it will put this rate hike off the table. But the way it looks from this morning, definitely need to be on our toes over here. And we can't just dismiss it and just be bullish 24/7, 365. I understand that being bullish all the time is better for content, right? It's easier for people to watch. It's more fun when we're bullish and talking about higher prices and, crypto pumping. But we also need to be grounded in reality and understand what's on the table here, and just kind of be honest with ourselves and understand that higher interest rates are on the table, which are not great for the markets. All right, so I can just be a bullish year-round guy if I want to, and just farm engagement, but I'm not going to, because I'm just going to tell what I see and what I'm thinking, and this is what I'm thinking right now. Definitely need to be cautious. All right, and like I said, a move into our supply levels up here above 23K, I will be looking to enter into shorts. But as of right now, not much going on. We're bouncing again from this range low, also this trend line. Don't be surprised if we move back up towards the higher end of our range over here, above our 50% price level, which is at $22,188. So that's kind of the overall situation on the table right now. We got Frank the Tank Degen. What's up, Connor? What's up, Frank? How are you? Krish saying the Friday unemployment data and next week's CPI data, I think, would trigger the price to your daily demand zone. That would make sense. I think it can definitely happen before then. I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen before then. It would be a quick move, and then I would expect price to come back basically into the range that it's trading in now. But yeah, I think some bearish announcements from the Fed would definitely warrant a move into our demand level down here at around $21,500. So all we can do is wait for that setup to present itself. You can go ahead, be my guest if you want to trade in here. But personally, I'm going to wait until we're out of this range for the next basically time that I take a short-term trade. So that's Bitcoin. Retsu saying we're definitely going to see a 50 basis point rate hike. Yeah, from Powell's speech today, it definitely does seem like that. Now let's kind of talk about some more exciting positive stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the Federal Reserve. And let's get into our Twitter wisdom. So for today's Twitter wisdom, I'm going to use an Alex Becker tweet. Regardless of what you think of him, I do agree with this tweet and what he has to say here. So he says, your best chance for outlandish, life-changing gains in the next 1 to 2 years is in crypto gaming. All we need is one breakout game, just one. The speculation on any decent game, coin, or gaming infrastructure right after will be absurd and rage for months. To be honest, I'm not even watching the rest of crypto. All I have to do is wait for the first big game or catch it a month or two before drop a dry bag across every good coin. The rises from these lows back to all-time highs will be easy 20 to 30 X's. So I don't think he's wrong here, right? I mean, this guy, he has an opinion about everything. A lot of times he's right, a lot of times he's wrong. Nobody can accurately predict the future 100% of the time. That's just the reality of the world that we live in. But I do agree with him here, all right? I am, as you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I am bullish on crypto gaming. I think it's going to be a market sector to really outperform the rest when it does actually take off. But that's the thing. Nobody has the exact timing of when that is going to happen. All right, but what we can do is we can prepare ahead of time. So before we get into our big altcoin technical analysis section of the stream, I do want to spend some time talking about these gaming coins and going over kind of my favorites. You guys should already know them, but we'll go over them again. Life on the Wake saying, what are your thoughts for July? July is kind of like 3 months out right now, so kind of hard to say now my thoughts on July so far ahead of time. Andrea saying, Becker was a big fan of D-Race, and I believe he will be back in that soon, promoting it like crazy. D-Race, certainly an interesting altcoin. Low market cap, $22 million market cap. Most of the coins are now in circulation, which is good. I do know that this was a DAO Maker Launchpad project. DAO Maker does tend to launch some of the better pre-sales in crypto nowadays. They really do. I think they're the best. So anyways, yeah, D-Race, it's an interesting coin. Not particularly on my list, but that's not to say it's not going to do well. Now, I want to go over things from kind of least risky, but in crypto everything is risky, so there's no such thing as free lunch, but least risky to high risk, low cap, micro cap. Now, number one on the least risky side for me is going to be Vulcan Forge PYR. Discussed it many times. This thing is still battered and beaten from the bear market, trading at $3.36. It's not going to be a given, but if Becker's scenario does actually play out here and we get one big game to take off, then I think that PYR will have a very good run. And let's go ahead and take a look at this chart on the daily time frame, and on the weekly time frame. And on our weekly time frame over here, from May 9th until today, March 7th, we have been in this major range for almost a full year. We've been in it for 10 months as of today. All right, so 10 months of accumulation. Now, the best thing that could happen for us, the absolute best case scenario, a lot of people won't want to hear this, but the absolute best case scenario would be that we actually break the range low. Why is that? Why am I saying I want to break our range low down here at $2.65? Because I've just seen it happen too many times in crypto, year after year, time and time again, when price breaks a major support level. And we're also getting, if we look at the crypto cycles, if we look at the calendar of when the halvings are, the Bitcoin halving is about a year away now. It's not that far, all right? So with that being said, the worst is likely kind of behind us. For sure, we can go ahead and sell off and test lower prices. But I know that there will be brighter days ahead, and it always is darkest before dawn. So if we do get a move to break this range low, this is going to be the ultimate spot to buy down here below $2.65. Because you're essentially playing off the fact that it's just going to trade briefly below the range. It won't even be that long on the weekly chart, right? It might be like this and then quickly reclaim. That's what you look for. Of course, you take on risk by buying it below because there is the risk of continuation lower. But if you're bullish on the asset, you understand that it's very possible that it's just a basic deviation. You come back and reclaim the support, and then you take off from there. So the best case scenario would be sub 265, around $2.50. But there's no guarantee we will get that. So we also have a level up here at $2.94. So PYR is basically like my safe gaming pick, if you can call it safe, but everything is high risk, right? This thing got smoked in the bear market. Holders got smoked, along with basically every other altcoin. But, this thing dropped 93% from high to low, which is why I'm saying that the worst is most likely behind us. If it drops another 93% from here, which is possible, but extremely unlikely, it would need to come down to 25 cents. Doubt that's going to happen. So like I said, PYR Vulcan Forge below 265. It's going to be the ultimate opportunity to buy. So that's one. I want to go over another one. I haven't really talked about it too much on the channel, but I've been looking into it a lot over the past few days, and that is going to be Altura. And this one is a low market cap. You can't even consider it a mid cap. Right, it's got a $15.3 million market cap, but this one is gaming infrastructure. right? And gaming infrastructure is certainly going to ride the coattails of a successful crypto game. Just like with artificial intelligence, when one artificial intelligence, it wasn't even a crypto coin, it was ChatGPT, got super popular in December. Next thing you know, every crypto AI coin starts to pump. And a lot of people, I've gotten comments on my videos before saying, you know, Connor, do you only look at the technicals? Like, why don't you look at fundamentals, stuff like that? And my response was basically, this market is definitely driven by fundamentals, but it is all speculation. A lot of the AI coins that pumped have absolute garbage vaporware tech. There's nothing, you know, great about them, but they still just rode off of the narrative. But the point I'm trying to make here is that crypto gaming, when it does take off, it's going to be the same exact thing. All right, and Altura is basically NFT gaming infrastructure. As we see, Web3 infrastructure for games. Again, I'll make a full deep dive on this one, but I suggest you do your own research, look into it on your own. But if we're going to talk about kind of, it's not safe necessarily at a $15 million market cap, you can certainly experience a large drawdown before it actually goes ahead and takes off. But it is a very interesting project that is building real infrastructure that has a very good chance of getting adopted. So if we look at this chart here, as you can see, I already kind of have my drawings, and there is daily bearish divergence on this. Price pumping up, but just losing steam altogether. Hitting oversold levels, losing steam, which is why I have my little sketch down to around 1.5 cents. This is our closest, I mean, we can call this a demand zone. This is certainly an area of support, but our main demand zone is going to be kind of the origin of our big pump, and that's going to be over here at around 1.5 cents. Also, if I drop this line here at the initial wick of the crash back in May of 2022, that's going to be right in that demand level as well. And notice how well this support was respected before it got broken down in November when FTX crashed. But anyways, this is our main area of interest on Altura ALU at 1.4 cents. So those are two right there. I'll go over a few more because I know everybody wants to know what are the good gaming coins. So there's also Sidus. Sidus Heroes, definitely on my list. I already own it, and it's had a very good pump up. It has retraced a lot from this pump, right? It's down 40%, 41% from the recent highs just around a few weeks ago, the end of February. It's down 40%, but it's a lot higher than it was at the end of January, start of February. As you can see, January 29th, it started to pump from the bottom, and it hasn't stopped. So main level on this one, it's already looking pretty bullish, looking pretty good, but our main level to watch for is going to be 0.0017 on Sidus. And this one has a market cap of $12.8 million. Super low market cap, but certainly an interesting one. I like this. I own it. I will buy more. And then obviously their governance token, Senate 2. I wouldn't ignore that one. Has the potential to do even better in terms of price performance because it cannot be hyperinflated. And just like Sidus, it has retraced its pump big time. Right, it's retraced 43%, 50% from high to low. So if we go ahead and put a rectangle on our chart here, we are in our demand zone basically. Undoubtedly, this entire purple box, 7 cents to 5 cents, all demand. Ideally, we come back down sub 5 cents, and that would be your best case below this low. Sub 5 cents to catch a bid on this one. Here, 4.5, 5 cents I like on Senate. So those are four. I'll go over one more. WAS. I like WAS. I've talked about it many, many times. You all should be familiar with what it is. And right now, WAS is back below 2 cents again. So below 2 is, in my opinion, ideal. Spent a lot of time above 2 cents, not as much below. Maybe we come back down to 1.5 cents. That would be ideal on WAS. If we come down, DEX tools, here we go. If we come down here at around 1.5, 1.6 cents, and let's go put a price label there. All right, that's our demand zone. But regardless, below 2 cents, I think is going to treat you well in the future. Like Becker says, these all should be easy 20x's to 30x's. I know that sounds great. I know you probably hear that a lot, right? Every YouTuber nowadays is saying turn $100 into 100 grand or $100 into $1 million. Most of you probably won't do that, but it is possible to turn a little amount of money into a lot. And gaming coins are one vehicle that I really do believe with conviction that will provide these kinds of opportunities to just catch massive swings in your net worth, essentially, right? Because if you put a substantial investment into one of these coins and they do something like go 20x, 30x, 100x, 150x, which is very possible, most coins, if they go 100x, they tend to go a lot further than 100x, right? So if you put a substantial investment, or even not even that substantial, you can turn a lot of money into a small amount of money into a lot, which is why I do hold gaming coins, which is why I do believe in them. So hope that makes sense. Vulcan Forge less riskier than Gala. No, Gala definitely is at the top of the list, but Gala does have the highest market cap that I'm really aware of at $276 million. Gala, definitely don't overlook it. Will probably do very well. I think it will do extremely well, but I'm more interested in some of the micro caps. But yeah, Gala, super solid. GRT. So GRT, I like it a lot because it is related to artificial intelligence, and of course, it is indexing the blockchain. Big project, well funded, well backed, and they're actually building something useful. I don't think it's going to be vaporware like 99% of the stuff you see on the market nowadays. But if you look at GRT now, it's in my daily demand zone. Right? We had our big pump up. We have retraced fully right back into our daily demand level. So this is a key structure for bulls. If this is lost, it's just more bleeding out back down to the original breakout level, which is going to be around 8 to 9 cents over here. But yeah, right now, GRT looking weak. It did sweep. It did sweep the Monday low in the demand zone. So that right there that's a signal to go long, basically. Right? You know you're in a demand zone. So when you're in a daily demand zone, you basically just look for lower time frame setups to present themselves. And here, as you see, yesterday it swept it, bounced, today swept deeper, and now trying to reclaim it right at the daily close candle. The daily close will be happening in 30 minutes from right now. So certainly a very interesting time for this to go ahead and sweep this level. But yeah, GRT, when it comes to fundamentals, you can't knock it. Super high market cap. $8.8 billion market cap. Or no, sorry, $1.2 billion market cap. 8.8 billion coins in circulation right now. 1.2 billion market cap, which is, big right now, especially kind of in the depths of the bear market where we are right now. Andre saying, what about Bitcoin miners? Most of them are down 80 to 90%. You're not looking into that? Well, what about the Bitcoin miners? Are you asking if they're going to capitulate and just sell that they're down 80 to 90%? I mean, for sure. I brought up the miner capitulation last year when it was kind of happening. But yeah, at this point, I don't necessarily. The miners have held this long. We know the Bitcoin halving is in a year, right? Time is getting accelerated towards that big date. And if you just go off of the 4-year cycles, that's when things tend to really flip bullish and we get the next cycle. So if the miners have held on for this long, unless something extremely catastrophic happens where they're forced to sell in kind of a liquidation event or something like that, then I don't see them selling, right? They've held out this long. Why would they capitulate now? Of course it's possible. How about another gaming project? Ultra, another one that's super solid. UOS, can't knock it. Sanretsu gave us a $2 super chat. Thank you, Sanretsu. Saying your take on Adventure Gold when you can, sir. AGLD. I've never heard of this coin before. Yeah, I can't really give any thoughts about it because I don't really know what it is. Interesting. And you can go ahead. This is on all the big exchanges. It's on Coinbase, which is good to see. You can take a look at this price chart. And the chart is at support now. Went ahead and tested this low, equal lows over here. So yeah, this looks like the worst is through for now. Now here's the thing, let's talk Fibonacci for a second. So a lot of people automatically go ahead and hook their Fibonacci measuring tape at the high over here. Now, a wick like this cannot necessarily be taken seriously because price tends to overshoot. And this, to me, this wick is an overshoot. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use that to hook my fib. I'll use this one. And if we use this one, price is essentially in the golden pocket. So at this low as well. So that certainly interests me. You also have this low over here at 35 cents, which lines up almost exactly with their 78.6. But yeah, I don't know what happened with this, where it sold off for like a week straight. Something must have happened. I don't know if it was a big token unlock from like a pre-sale or something like that. But yeah, this is looking, compared to a lot of the other charts we can look at, this has accelerated selling. But what you don't want to end up doing is capitulate after a move like this in a daily demand zone. But yeah, when it comes to the fundamentals of this project, I can't speak on it. But the technicals, in an interesting spot on the chart, and if you're bullish on it, you have a lot better prices than you had a week ago. Now let's go look at Solana for Elvis, and also for myself and everybody else watching, because Solana does give a lot of good essentially trading opportunities. It moves a lot. So Solana, if we look at Bitcoin and ETH, they never lost their low, basically. Their low got tested. Solana showing weakness. Solana broke the low. All right, now it's bouncing slightly. But the main level on this chart is 20 bucks. Let's go to the daily time frame. If you look at this, The low of this demand zone is $19.70. So just for simplicity's sake, we'll call it $20, $20. Now, a lot of people think that it's just going to break down and come, 15, 17, maybe 12 again. The way that this looks to me is I would treat a breakdown of support as, I wouldn't want to short essentially a breakdown of support. I would let it break down. I would let it spend as much time as it needs to down here below $20, whether it wants to go test 17, whether it wants to test 15. Let it do what it wants to do below $20, because what's going to happen is eventually it will reclaim $20. And that's going to be when you want to be in your long trade. All right, let it lose the support. Let it test the lower levels. Let it do what it needs to do. But when it comes back up and it reclaims $20, that's when you need to be long, essentially. That's when you need to be paying attention, because when it does reclaim, we've been waiting for this continuation move for Solana to $30 for like 2 months now. All right, it pumped up initially in the beginning of January. By January 21st, it was at $27. And it never broke that. All it did was sweep that level and then tank. All right, so we have been waiting for the continuation move on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Altcoins, Solana. We've been waiting for it for like 2 months. So yes, things can sell off here. Things can turn bleak. But when Solana eventually, inevitably, reclaims $20 after the sell-off, that's when it's go time, and that's when it's time to be long and strong, because this next leg up for Solana is going to be a big one, inevitably. How big? Well, you take it level by level. Your first level would be the range highs, but of course in an uptrend, the highs get taken out to create higher highs. So above that, we have $30, which is a major SR flip. Above that, we have $37. And then really what I would hold out for, kind of the main target on the trade, it would be up here around $50, 48. That's what's on the table here. Very much so. And this, of course, is a gain of 130% on one of the biggest market cap coins like Solana. So that's what I think about Sol right now. This, I'm not really interested in this. This nice chop fest going on. All right, that's all cool. But the real move, or the real trade, is going to be when it eventually breaks down below $20. And then that's when we want to start paying attention, when it reclaims 20, because when it actually does reclaim is when it's going to have its next major leg up, something like this, where it just doesn't stop pumping. And it would take it up to around $50. So that's my overall thoughts on Solana. When it comes to these lower time frames, I'm not really too interested, right? I'm mainly watching Bitcoin and ETH right now because Bitcoin literally controls the entire market, basically, especially when things are dry like they are right now. Altcoins are going to react to whatever Bitcoin does. So we're getting a nice little bounce right now, which is nice to see, trying to reclaim the mid-range. Maybe we go back and we attack the range highs again, up here at 22,600. But that's Solana. Dan San, my thoughts on Kaspa. So, I've never bought any Kaspa. I never really took it seriously personally. The reason why was because it's up 720x in 10 months. I know it's proof of work. Yeah. I don't know. It popped up out of nowhere. It got shilled a lot on Twitter, making me think that I don't know what kind of marketing that they were doing to get the word out. I don't know. It all seemed very odd to me when it pumped. So I never really looked into it that much. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Caspa. Can it be huge in the future? I have no idea. Andre saying, got to go to bed, Connor. Much appreciated. You're live once again. Until next time, take care and be safe. Likewise, thank you, Andre. Have a good night. Life on the Wake. Is Ocean Protocol and Fetch AI a good investment in your opinion? Yo, we got Gregor in the house. We got Scorch88. What's up, Gregor? Good to see you. Thanks for the support on the live stream. Smash up that like button if you haven't already. If anybody doesn't know Gregor, he's an absolute legend. You should subscribe to his channel even though he doesn't have any videos on it. But Ocean Protocol and Fetch AI, yeah, they're good investments. When it comes to AI coins, these are like the 1 and 2, FET and Ocean. And our trade on Ocean was a big hit. Right, we played this move essentially perfectly. Right, this trade was shared with you on YouTube right here in this video a month ago. I also shared it, of course, in my Discord group. But essentially with Ocean, right, we took the entry at 23, wrote it up to 50, 100% there. But now, just like every other coin, pulling back, consolidating, boring, dry price action. It's like watching paint dry. And it is reacting somewhat off of this 37-cent level. It is holding it right now as support, as you can see, having a hard time breaking through it. It is looking a little bit heavy on this support level. So you can't ignore the fact that we have a low down here at 32 cents. And you also cannot ignore the fact that we have a previous range high over here at 29 cents. So Ocean, good chance it comes down to these prices. But if we're talking long term, is Ocean a good investment? Yes. Ocean, when it comes to data and artificial intelligence, Ocean has that market cornered. There really is no, second best when it comes to it. Ocean is a clear winner. And then FET as well. You guys know my stance on FET. Also just in consolidation. Depending on how you're going to view this, some people might just call this a bear flag. Draw their line like this and like this. And say that it had its initial impulse move in. And then it's going to flag and break down to the next target over here at 18 cents. That would surprise me if this plays out like this. It would surprise me, but I've seen crazier things. But that comes right back down to a key level, as you see with my yellow line at 18 cents. That's one possibility. And we have 36 cents over here as our current low that needs to hold in demand. So in order for that to happen, it first needs to break 36. And then we have this huge daily accumulation just underneath 30. So there's a lot of support until 18. So don't bank on that happening. But yeah, FET I have going at $3 to $5 relatively easily by like 2025. Maybe even this year, because this year is going to be the year of artificial intelligence, and FET and Ocean top two really when it comes to that. Jason saying Caspa is king. Curious why you think that, Jason. Why is it so good? Why does everybody love Caspa so much? Amsterdam, do you still think AI projects like FET will perform strongly? Yes, I do think so, Amsterdam. I do. Nanook, hey Connor, hope you're well. What are your thoughts on the latest development of Beam Swap? Extremely, extremely bullish. Look, Beam Swap is on Moonbeam. Moonbeam, very underrated layer 1 blockchain, and Beam Swap is it is the main DEX as far as I'm concerned. It's the most held token on Moonbeam, has the biggest community pretty much in all of Polkadot behind Donnie Big Bags, what he's building. But essentially, if you're not aware, Beam Swap recently announced perpetual trading, meaning you'll be able to use leverage, limit orders, all of that with BeamX. I'm going to make a full tutorial video about this new exchange. But yeah, they're the first ones to do this on Moonbeam. I know it's generating a lot of buzz, and the Beam swap price hasn't necessarily done anything, but I do expect it to do well. And I think they're basically the only ones doing anything innovative right now on Moonbeam that actually has a community behind it. So yeah, Beam swap, very bullish on it. Really like what they're doing with their decentralized perpetual trading exchange, and they're basically just beating all the competition on the Moonbeam network. As far as I'm concerned, they are the Uniswap of Moonbeam, so I wouldn't ignore Beam swap. I'll get a tutorial video out on this new exchange because I do think it will do well when the bull market comes back. Frank the Tank saying, always good to hear new perspectives and opinions. Awesome, Frank. Dan Stan, thoughts on Flux? Solid coin, solid project. I don't own any of this, but I have nothing bad to say about Flux. It's an interesting infrastructure play. Now, let's talk about kind of some of the problems I see with crypto, because yeah, a lot of these coins are great. A lot of these coins have a lot of potential, but let's not mistake ourselves for a second. Right, if we go to DeFi Llama, fix my screen so you can see, but if we go to DeFi Llama and we look at all of these blockchains, these are all the layer 1 or layer 2 blockchains that you can build on that have DeFi on them. And right now there are 174 coins that all essentially do kind of the same thing. You don't need 174 different networks. Maybe like 5 of these will win in the end. So there will be a big filtration process over the years here to get rid of a lot of this junk. Like Crab. Crab has $800 total value locked. Stride. What is Stride? Down 100%. Like a lot of them have already, or it says Polkadot is down 100%, but they're obviously a layer 0. Anyways, a lot of these are not going to survive. This market right now is still, it is maturing, but it's still super young. A lot of this right here is garbage. It's trash. All right, people love Kadena. People love Caspa. They're like the same thing if you look at them, right? They use Bitcoin security, proof of work, smart contract blockchain. There's so many copycats, replicas, repeats. A lot of filth, a lot of garbage needs to get wiped out from this market in order to accelerate forward. So yeah, you're asking me about all these coins. Flux, solid tech. I have nothing bad to say about it. But the reality of the crypto situation is, this market right now, it's super dry. You got a bunch of people, trying to be crypto influencers. I hate that word, by the way. But, a lot of people making their Twitter accounts and making their videos and stuff, from their mom's basement. And the crypto industry overall needs a lot of purging of garbage. And this list is a perfect example of that. So, yeah, just be aware. All these different altcoins, maybe 5 networks, if that will succeed in the end. A lot of stuff needs to get flushed out is what I'm trying to say here. So, take your money off of the table when you make big gains in the short term. Anna Maria is saying AGIX is not a good coin. It made a lot of gains. AGIX is definitely a solid AI project. I have nothing bad to say about that one either. Anna Maria, can you please check High Gaming Coin and tell me what you think about it, please? So High Street. I know this one was performing pretty well recently, but obviously with the general market conditions, it hasn't been able to hold out too high. Pun intended there. They should definitely update their website. It's no longer Valentine's Day. But yeah, High Street. Are they incubated by Binance? I know they're a Chinese metaverse coin, which if you just go off of the Chinese narrative, then it's good. Right? If China's buying it, we must buy. But if we look at this chart over here, yeah, it's been getting smoked, as you can see. I haven't touched this. Yeah, this chart is breaking down like crazy, really. So last Thursday, last Friday was the big move, this candle here. And as you see, we're just kind of in consolidation after that move. So this is interesting here, right? We just lost this low. If you short here, you were late. You are an extremely late shorter if you want to short down here at $2.25. Right? You don't want to be, of course, it could keep on going lower and continue back down to $1.50, $1.80, etc. It's very possible, but this thing's already down 50%. You're too late as far as I'm concerned if you want to open up a fresh short here. Watch for the possibility, kind of something like I outlined with Solana. Right? This chart reminds me, if we look at Solana right here, first of all, take a mental image of what this looks like. All right, take a mental image of this. Now we'll go look at Solana. It's not the same picture, but it's very similar. And the difference is that Solana has still held this low. When high lost it, which makes sense. High street, low market cap coin. It only had a lot of attention because of the whole China narrative, and the Chinese are buying it, so we all have to buy it too. That was kind of the situation with it. But yeah, Solana didn't break that level. If we go back to high, it broke the level, and now it's in this consolidation. Right now it is trading beneath the Monday low. Let's go to a lower time frame here. Has not swept this yet, but there is the chance that it's going to do something like this and break this trend line. Right? Some people are going to call this a inverse head and shoulders, and it's going to reclaim. And this would just be a big deviation trade essentially below this low. And that makes sense to me. It does look like this chart wants to do that. It does look like it wants to give us this setup. And it's a pretty obvious invalidation too. Even though that's 10% right there. That's the problem with these low caps, right? So little margin for error. But you still could have a 3-to-1 if you use a tighter stop. Thing is, you got to be careful if in case it does come down and actually break this low. And if it breaks and then reclaims like this, but you have your stop right at this low, you're going to miss the move. So you need to, your execution needs to be perfect if you want to trade this setup. So you can either wait for this level at $2.13, or you can look for it now, but understand that your risk is greater, and you do have the risk of this low just not even holding, and it just continues lower altogether. That's why you use a stop loss in the first place. But this setup does look clean. Only problem is you were obviously counter trend trading. This thing is in an obvious downtrend. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So you're fighting against the current doing this, but it's there. The picture is there. Just needs to see if it actually executes that picture. But to be safe, I would at least wait for maybe another sweep of these at like 215. And you lower your risk greatly if you just wait for a little bit lower. But yeah, high street, fundamentally, I can't really speak on it that much because I don't know too much about it fundamentally. Amsterdam, a while ago you were bullish on Sama, still bullish. Yes, Sama has not changed. And when it comes to our gaming coins, Sama is one of those. Now it has gotten beaten and battered. It has not done anything. It's only dropped actually in price. We can get rid of these lines just to clean this picture up. So Sama, this thing has a market cap of like 14 million bucks. what is there to talk about? It launched in December. It's brand new. It's going to get a Polkadot parachain. Moonbeam, or what's it called? Beam swap on Moonbeam has a very big community, and Moon Sama is the other. This is the biggest community. It already has the most amount of active users out of any Polkadot project as far as I know. All right, so I wouldn't let this scare you. This is a brand new coin. We're still technically in a bear market here, and it did break this support here, which could be concerning, but you're just essentially getting cheaper prices. This thing is like 4 months old now. It's brand new. It launched in the dead of the bear market, literally at the start of December. That was like peak low. So yeah, I still like this one. I still hold it, and I'm not changing my opinion on it. They're going to get a Polkadot parachain slot, and I think it can do very well. Frank the Tank saying super bullish on Polkadot, stack your bag. Yeah, Polkadot, very solid. Anna Maria saying thanks. You were so nice as always. No problem, Anna Maria. Appreciate your support. Ian Connor, have you looked into ordinals? See a lot of hype about it in the Sparrow wallet. So I have looked into ordinals. I'll make a full video because they're very interesting NFTs on Bitcoin, Litecoin. Basically, you can inscribe on the blockchain. But yeah, I'll make a full video about my overall general thoughts on it and how to actually, buy them and use the wallets, etc. I've gotten a few requests for a video like that, so I'll get that out. But yeah, I have looked into them briefly. I need to look into them more. Thanks for your input in the stream. No problem, Ian. Amstercam saying, how can we find projects that have just launched? I'm not sure if there's a central database resource that tells you all the new projects. Essentially, you just got to be tapped in. Twitter, really. Twitter is the main go-to news source when it comes to new projects. But with that being said, guys, unfortunately, we got to go ahead and wrap this one up because we have been going for over an hour. It's 7 p.m. and it's a weeknight. It's Tuesday, so I got stuff to do tonight. So I cannot stay here for an extended live stream. But we went over the main things that I wanted to cover. We went over the price action of Bitcoin as well as a ton of altcoins. We touched on the crypto gaming narrative, some of my top picks for that gaming narrative, low caps, mid caps. Hope you guys got some more kind of insight into what I'm thinking in terms of that crypto gaming bull run that we will experience. We will experience that sooner or later, but for now we still have to be patient with it. But it's time to go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope that you guys did enjoy the stream. If you did, smash up that like button while you are still here. And if you were brand new to Crypto Empire and you're not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe to that channel right now and turn on all the notifications so that you don't miss any future videos. My name is Connor from Crypto Empire. I'll see all you guys tomorrow. Not going anywhere. Got a ton of content to make. We'll be live again on Thursday and then Sunday. So, yeah, we're not going anywhere, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed this one.